How are you doing? Oh my days. What is going on? Are we experiencing the apocalypse or what is going
Hello.
on?
Uh-oh. Okay, there. Went out for a minute, but there you are.
We have an exciting update to talk about. It is Joe Biden withdrawing from the presidential race. Oh my God, guys, get together because we have a lot to discuss, and this is great for cultural exchange for the Britishers, the British people amongst us. This is our opportunity to really understand what is going on with American politics, the same way I try to explain what happens with the British politics to Americans as well. So it's a great opportunity for cultural exchange. Also, for those who are worried, this is a great opportunity to vent how you're feeling at the moment because I understand that literally every single Democrat is worried at the moment. So, for all you know, maybe the Sussex Squad will be able to help the Democrats with what they're doing. But first, let's get into the conversation because it looks like the 2024 election just took a major turn. Honestly, I have been on most of the online spaces where people are discussing all of this, and it is ridiculous. Everywhere, we would literally have people weeping over President Biden's decision to withdraw from the race. But this is not my wheelhouse. This is the wheelhouse of someone who is American, just because you understand the nuances a lot better than I do. So, for that reason, we have Sussex Love on board with us today. And she is going to be talking us through exactly what has been happening and what we need to do next. I include myself in it because I believe that I am an honorary American, just like Harry is.
Yes,
But before
indeed.
we go,
Yes.
before we go further, let me say hello to everyone. Welcome to Isabella Banks YouTube channel where we discuss all things Harry, Meghan, politics, rebuilding your life, etc. If you're new here, I'm Wheezy, and it is great to meet you virtually. Sussex Love, say hello to everyone.
Hello, family. How are you?
Okay.
Prayers be with us all.
Oh, can you see the comments in the comment section? Is people are going off already? So guys, wait. There is more to this story from what I understand. But Sussex Love, you are the one who knows everything. You know all about it, right? How did we get here?
Okay.
How did we
Wow.
get here? Tell us all about it.
That is that is a story. How did we get here? Well, I guess I'll start with, as being American, you were saying how people were crying and weeping because we've gone through a lot together with President Biden. And so we've gone through his hardships and struggles when he was with the Obama administration and now his own administration. One might say, Mr. Biden might say, this began in 2016 when, instead of endorsing his vice president, which would have been him, like he did with Kamala, he endorsed Hillary Clinton. So we felt the heartbreak that he did then, those of us that wanted him, and those of us who wanted either Sanders and not Hillary. So the argument is he could have had his two terms if he had started from 16 to 24. So that's why a lot of people are upset and crying over this loss because he
Mm,
loves to serve and he was doing a great job.
mm,
Age happens. we have found that he's deteriorating, and some of the doctors have said they thought that he had Parkinson's.
Mm,
And him being strong and waiting so long for his chance, he didn't want to. But as he got worse, they had to try to convince him, which we didn't understand was going on behind the scenes.
mm,
But where we are now, I guess, is, or what's happening now is that he has come out and he is vice president, which would be Kamala Harris. But
mm,
our procedures work a little different from you. We have delegates that we issue that's and during the convention, the delegates are given to the candidate that the voters wanted it to go to, which would have been all the Biden Harris ticket. It is easier for it to just go on with Kamala for several reasons, but the legal reason is for the money. It was already allocated to Biden Harris, and she is part of Biden Harris, so they wouldn't have to do any hoops to be able to use it for the campaign. Secondly, she's familiar with what he wanted to finish, and she can finish it for him.
mm,
But you have some people within the party that did not want her, tried to get him to, before he even ran the first time, they didn't want her. He stuck with her. He said, yes, I want her. Then when it was time to reelect months ago, they tried to get him to drop her. He still refused to drop her. And the question was asked to him, well, if something happened, she can do the job. And his answer was quite quickly and quite succinctly, if I didn't think she could do the job, I wouldn't have picked her.
right.
So he's always been steadfast in her choice. And so what we have now is the Democrats have to, our convention is coming up. The delegates that were issued to Joe Biden, she's been making phone calls and people on her behalf to sure up that they will go to her and not some of them break off and go to some, which they have the ability to do because the vote and confidence goes with them from the people that they can do what needs to be done. And they
Mm,
have the flexibility if something happens like this, so, but them to sure up and go ahead and put the delegates that were meant for him to her so that
okay.
they can
Just a
continue on. And that,
second.
go ahead. Yeah.
So what do you think was the key moment that led to Biden's surprising announcement? What do you think was the key
I
reason
think he
for?
had, I think that his health and mental acuity had deteriorated, and I think that people, like I said, there were some doctors that were after that were diagnosing that they felt he had Parkinson's. Although nobody has said that,
Uh,
officially. But I think what happened is because he did then first he said he would not withdraw. Then he said, "Oh well, if there's some medical concern, then I might withdraw." It is they might have said, "Yeah,
mm,
this is gonna progress, and
mm,
you may be able to hold on, but maybe not."
mm,
That's just my opinion. I don't know that for sure, but I think it would have to be a medical condition because there was no way he would just give it up. He would fight. He's Irish, so instinct is to fight. So, and he was going to initially do this. So I think, even though they have not said that, I think what it was is that his medical condition is such that he probably feels that it would be better, especially since the polling especially the swing states
mm,
has him really really down, and it didn't start to tick back up. You know
mm,
what I mean? It's still going down, and it's in more than one swing state. And with the younger people still upset, um, they were slow in coming back,
mm,
and people were getting more because the Democrats weren't helping with their hand wringing and worrying about him being older out loud. And I think the ability to believe he could do his job was diminishing.
mm,
And so the Democrats found themselves in a situation where, we can't seem to build it back up. And after that televised incident where you could see, thinking that maybe he had sundowners, because I've had patients that had sundowners. But if it is even worse, if it is Parkinson's, I think
mm,
that whatever it was, the debate itself, you could clearly see that he was getting confused and he couldn't, and he wasn't with part of it. You could see that clearly. And so
Mm,
I think it's more of a medical thing that they decided, that he finally decided, okay, I'm not gonna risk the people. He probably would have still tried to press on, been helping them this far, but I think he understood that the polling wasn't going to go back the other way, that he wouldn't be able to get that trust back. Even though I
mm,
think he still could have won. I think if they had put him up there and they kept going rate, he could still articulate what he wanted to do for this country. I think he would still have a chance, but they felt it was too risky, and maybe the doctors told him that we can't guarantee that you'll be able to be as sharp. So I don't know, but I think that that is one of the things that could have
I
swayed
think
him
so
to.
as well.
And plus, plus there's a time limit now, because we have a couple of weeks before the convention, and by our bylaws and by state laws, for them to be on the ballot in each state, you have to have it set and ready to go before your convention. So anybody after that, the Republicans can challenge, because they want to challenge now just because he dropped out. But we can do that. But they're crazy. But if we had done it past that time limit, they would have had a serious court challenge to maybe block him off, and she wouldn't have been able to run in those states. So there's a time constraint as well, that the choice had to be made in this time
Now,
period now, which is another reason why it had to be done now.
okay, following the announcement today, I'm not in America with you. So, on behalf of the British people, what is the landscape looking like everywhere? Like, really? How are people feeling? And yeah.
That goes under what we've got to do now. We've got to, as President Biden said in his statement when he endorsed his vice president, he said, now is the time for us to unify and focus on the goal of defeating Donald J. Trump. So that is what we have to do. We have to unify behind her. People that didn't want her have to get over it and unify behind the
Mm,
candidate that the president has endorsed, his vice president.
yeah.
uh, we it's just a matter of getting us unified, and then going to the convention. Already one of her commercials for when she was running for president has gone viral. I don't know if you've seen it on the internet. Have you seen the commercial that she put out in 2020 when she was originally going to run for president? Did you see the commercial?
Who is that?
That the president, Vice President Harris, she had put out a commercial when she was
Oh,
originally running for president in 2020. It has gone viral up
okay.
now and gone viral because she was prosecuting her case against Donald Trump. It was saying he is a sexual predator. She put sexual predators in jail. He is a fraudster with his bank fraud. She put
Oh,
bank fraudsters in jail. He is a
okay.
prosecutor. Her commercial was very, and so that has gone viral now,
Okay.
since the president has endorsed her for his replacement. So now it's a matter of getting the campaign aligned, getting our sights set on him, getting all the was running away from President Biden, pulling them back,
Sorry, just a second.
reinforcing the people's faith in her picking a
Hi,
good vice
just sorry,
president.
just a second.
I would love if she could pick Gavin Newsom, but I don't know if. Go ahead.
Uh, Idelina just said if I had seen that commercial from 2020, and she just posted it again a couple of hours ago. Hours ago. Idelina, is that on Twitter? I think that must be on Twitter. But what before she answers the question, let me just if you're just joining us on this channel, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment or two in the comment section. If you have visited before and you haven't subscribed, let today be the day you decide to subscribe. For all those who have been rocking with me from the beginning, thank you. Don't forget to leave a comment or two in the comment section. Also, hit the like button. Okay, so we'll continue. Uh, Idelina says it's awesome. I'll find the link. I'll put it for you. Please go ahead to do so. So I think we can all imagine, but it doesn't hurt to actually verbalize what we're thinking, right? So what do you think the consequences of Trump being elected are going to be?
Uh-oh. You went a little, I didn't hear all of that question.
I said, what do you think the
Uh-oh. I
consequences
didn't.
of Trump
Okay, I heard part of that. You said what would the consequences be of Trump?
being elected? Yeah.
Okay. Um, Consequences. Well, he wants to be a dictator, which said he would gut all of the departments, get rid of the education department. He doesn't think that's necessary. He would also replace all the Justice Department with people says. Other departments he would shut down completely. He would get rid of the environmental control division. The 2020 project would go around systematically take trans people's rights, mass deportation. He's talking about in the hundreds of thousands. He's talking about gathering up his political enemies, putting them on trial, even killing them, some of them, because he would have the right to do, since the Supreme Court said that whatever president does in within his saying that he would kill his opponents, people that he should be in jail, he would put in jail. So the consequences would be we would go from a semi democracy, which, since all the money has been blooded due to our changes and our laws being misinterpreted in court, he would
Mm.
go to being a dictator and we would lose being a democracy. This is what he wants. The 2025 project goes after everybody. It's the poor people, it's the working class people, it's the everything about that project is a direct contrast and to what we are now and
Mm.
continue to be. So he's a danger still to democracy, a danger to freedom. Abortions that they believe should be legal. They don't want IVF treatments. That means people that could not have children and through this process have children. They think there's something wrong with that process, so they shouldn't do that. They want to stop birth control. So they want a total control of everything you do and say.
Yeah.
And
Like Lona just said, she says Trump will get rid of NATO, Justice Department, Education Department, the FBI.
mm, mm-hmm,
How is he going to be able to do that? It's only a mad person who would think about doing that. But anyway, this is the reason why we're here, right? Okay. So the next question, I suppose, is you've partly answered that already. Uh, is how do we prevent Trump from being elected? Or I think you've answered that question because you already talked about what President Biden said in his speech. Perhaps
mm-hmm.
I should move on to the next question, which is what are the Democrats planning to do that has not been done before?
Uh, well, since this hasn't happened in 40 years, that we didn't have the incumbent president going on. It's a lot of things we're going to have before and organize it in a total different way. It's not just organizing to get the vote out. We have to organize within ourselves. We have to get a vice presidential candidate, number one, to run with her. It has to be strategic. I would love Gavin Newsom, but the thing about Gavin Newsom is he is also from California, like she is. I'm not sure if there's a rule against that or if it's just frowned upon because you can only get whatever delegates from one person. You can't get it in that state. So if she picked another state like the Midwest, I'm voting for South Carolina because we have a chance to win South Carolina, and we
Mm,
haven't had a chance to win it in a long time. If she
mm,
picks that governor, she would pick up extra electoral college votes in California, which is her state, which she
mm,
will probably win because it's her state.
mm,
So she would get extra if she had somebody other than her fellow California Gavin Newsom. but that he would be my choice. But the other one from South Carolina, he's not that, or even Louisiana, if we had to. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But we gotta get the right ticket, and we gotta unify behind it, and we've got to worry about AI. We got to worry about all his fake news he has started. All he's gonna run Hillary's campaign. He ran against her, but 2.20.0. It's gonna be all the misogyny and, oh, she was sleeping with these people like he did with the district Willis in Georgia. He just made up stuff about her sleeping with people. But that is the stuff he's going to do with her. He's going to try to bring up her past and say she slept with people and she's not very bright. All the stuff he usually does with women, like he did with Hillary. She's not strong enough. So we have to get prepared for the onslaught. We have to go to battle online against all this different fake news. That's where we can come in as Sussex Squad. We can, like we do for the Sussexes, we could bring up factual and get that out there to dispute the BS as fast as we can,
Mm-hmm.
and also contacting our government officials and pressing them to do what they need to do, because they got to be bold. We got to go at Trump with everything we have, because he lies, he cheats. Some of the billionaires have gone over to him because they know that he'll do whatever they want if they pay him.
Mm.
So we've got to rebuff that. We've got to get more people to understand it. Yeah, democracy is under a threat again, even more than it was last time. When we said it last time, it's even worse now. you
Yeah.
know. So and that's pretty much where we are. We got to get ourselves together. We've got to get the candidate. We've got to get the nomination in for the convention and get it done. Then we've got to go full bore against this crazy person and his crazy people to make sure he doesn't get back in again.
Okay.
I would love to Warren to be the truth, because I love Elizabeth Warren, but I don't think these men could take two women in America here. So either a black woman and a white woman, it might be too much overload for them.
Too much common
But
sense.
I Yeah, but I would love Elizabeth Warren. Harris Warren ticket would be great.
Okay. So, in conclusion, Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 election carries significant implications for the upcoming race. I think definitely we can boldly say that it's going to reshape the dynamics of the campaign trail. Uh, the repercussions of this decision, though, are far reaching, no doubt, and will alter the course of American politics as we know it. Um, while I am speaking, if there's anybody who would like to ask a question or make a comment or have suggestions on what we can do, we're women. Sorry, I was going to say we're women, but I recognize that there are some men in the audience. So I was
Mm-hmm.
going to say, but we can do more than one thing at a time. And we can, where we can, use some of the skills that we have acquired from defending the Sussexes for so long. If you think about it, actually, you've got the British media going over to America. You've got British politicians going over to America to lend their support. You've got British media joining in on the right wing rhetoric over here.
Mm-hmm.
I think when the Democrats
And we like to say to you people, thanks a lot for kicking them out of your government, and now they're running over here to ours. Thanks so much,
Mhm, yep, and so
because you threw them out and
just
they're over
like
here.
just like France and the UK have done, we really do need to join forces to get rid of the right wing politicians under Trump. If there's anybody in my audience, I've had people send me messages before and say they don't like it when I talk about Trump, especially in the least positive terms. I do apologize in advance. However, I think I am entitled to have my own opinions when it comes to politics, and I can see what Trump is doing. I would ask you to not watch this video if what I have to say about Trump offends your sensibilities. We'll catch back up on the Harry and Meghan videos. This video is not for you, okay?
I would like
So
to add something to that if I could.
yeah, sure.
I am an American. When I speak about my government, I have my opinion. If you can't listen to the other side, maybe take a look at yourself and make that change.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody want to come up and ask a question, vent if you want? I'm going to drop the link in the chat where you can come up and say something. We're not going to be on here for long today, but this is an opportunity to vent in a safe space if you want to do so. Otherwise, we are going to be finishing the podcast in the next couple of minutes. Okay,
Is
so
Lady Rose out there?
no, she's not.
I didn't see Lady Rose. Oh, okay. Because I knew she would have something to say.
Yeah. Um Lorna Williams says, remember there is the Einstein tapes out there where Trump is speaking to Einstein, and Trump is due to be sentenced in New York in September. Also, MAGA is not happy with the color of Trump's VP. Yeah, we
They're not
understand.
happy with the color of the Trump's VP's wife. They're not happy with
Trump's
it.
VP's wife. Trump, who is Trump VP's wife?
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
Trump VP is Vance, and he's married to an Asian lady, is she?
To, and an Indian woman. She's Indian. And she
Indian.
has a son named Vivek, like the Indian candidate that was running on their side. And Ann Coulter told him in no certain terms she would never vote for him because he's Indian. And his face, that went viral too, in case you missed that video. But yes,
Oh,
she's
wow.
Indian, and one of her children, his name Vivek. And MAGA was going crazy saying, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be for white rights. He's got an Indian woman with a child named Viveki," and they was making and saying, "Oh yeah, he's for white freedoms. What a great choice." So the MAGA portion was pissed off that Trump picked him because he has an Indian wife
Mm,
with Indian named children. So,
mm,
but he also has backings from the tech industry that are one particular billionaire that's been backing him since he was in Yale, where he met his wife. And
mm,
so Trump needed that money, so he don't really care.
mm.
So yeah.
So, for all intents and purposes, are you saying that because Trump has picked this man to be his VP, because they're going to be on the ticket together, aren't they? It's likely that
Mm-hmm.
from the characteristics of MAGA that we have seen so far, it's quite obvious that they would, even if it means that they're going to be hurting themselves. I mean, they're walking around with patches on their ears just because Trump got hit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're
So,
already openly complaining about him being with it. I mean, they're saying it. They're saying that what were you thinking picking him? They've said it out loud already.
yeah, but I don't think it
You
will
know.
stop them from voting for him, is what I'm saying.
Um,
It won't stop them from voting for
I
him.
can't think they really don't like minorities. So they're really pissed. So I'm not sure. Probably not. Probably not. But the Epstein tapes are the things that are flowing
Mm,
is. They need to play that tape more. The media over here, we have been affected by English media and other right wing media because they're not playing those tapes of Trump that's going around on social media. but it's not playing on mainstream how all this evidence came out and how all over the evidence in the Epstein case and with these videotapes and everything. They're not really piping that in the American media. It's
Mm.
being suppressed. I wonder by who, but it's being suppressed. Uh-oh.
Katie Gabby says this that is all part of the plan. They say a Trump victory would be the American Revolution 2.0. The Brits are coming back to America. This is exactly what I saw. This is what I have felt. And I felt it a lot more because every time I look into a Harry and Meghan case, I see British interference in
Mm-hmm.
mainstream media. I see that they're gradually creeping in, infiltrating the ranks, and taking over some of the spots. We're going to talk more about how
Mm-hmm.
that is working. Um, but yeah, I think it would be for those people who have been sending me messages and saying Harry and Meghan are fine in America. Um, I'm not disputing that at all. What I'm saying is
For
we
now.
want them to be fine forever, not just right now. And what the British media are doing
Yeah.
are cutting off their resources one at a time. And it would be a mistake to underestimate the power of the British monarchy. It will be a huge mistake because people look at them and they think of them as just England, not even the UK. They think of them as England, just that little island. But you've got England,
Mm-hmm.
you've got Scotland, you've got Northern Ireland, and you have got Wales. Apart from that, you've also got the British allies. Every time you look behind them, you look at their allies. UK is on the Security Council of the United Nations. They are regarded as one of the superpowers of the world. If they were not that powerful, how did they get on there? When you also
Well, one
considering the
has argued.
UK, wait, hold on. When you're considering the UK, you also have to consider the fact that they are the Commonwealth. A lot of people say, well, they're not that connected. Is it? How, why do you think that the African nations have been unable to get out of the uh, poverty, chaotic rule that they have been made to go under? There is a secret agreement, I think, that exists between the British monarchy and the members of the Commonwealth that keeps the African countries in debt. They have to participate in certain things which keep them bound to the British monarchy. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you photographs of the people that recently came over from Nigeria to the UK. These are all people who hosted Harry and Meghan in their last trip to Nigeria. What were you going to
Mm.
say?
I was going to say that their power, although they are a great power, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that I believe that it's diminishing. I think it started diminishing with Brexit. They made a
Mm,
horrible mistake with that when they broke off from the EU. Was greatly diminished because this is why a lot of people in England are suffering and you can't get the foods and the goods is because all those deals were gone because they thought they were going to have a big deal with the US and they could tell everybody else to kiss their behind, and it didn't work
mm,
out like that. And so now and they don't want to admit that they made a huge mistake, but they
mm,
lost a little chunk of their power when they
mm.
when they broke off from the EU. They made themselves a little bit more isolated, which is what they were trying to do because they thought they immigrants out and we can do well without these people here and we'll
Mm.
make our money, and it didn't work out like that. They
Actually, you know
miscalculated.
what? I agree with you. I agreed with you until I remembered something. What I
What?
remembered was that the so when we're looking at the powers, we're looking at the government power and we're looking at the power of the monarchy. Okay. So government
Mm-hmm.
power is what significantly reduced. The power of the monarchy, it's kind of tied to the government, but it's wider than the UK government in the sense that the UK monarchy is actually this literally more or less the seat of the royal houses in Europe. So where they have the governmental relationships with perhaps all the other ministries of defense, and that's one route of power. The monarchy itself has its own relationship with all the other royal houses in Europe.
But aren't they mostly just because a lot of the other royal houses, they're out there with jobs and they're working. They're not dependent on the taxpayer to pay for them. The British monarchy is the last one that the taxpayers are paying. The rest of them are out there, gone to college, got jobs, have their own businesses. So, you know, they might be connected, but are they really? I'll say how ruthless the British monarchy is,
You want
which
to
is
test
why
it and
they don't
see?
really get along. Huh?
You want to test it and
I'm
see?
sorry. Well, no, we got enough problems.
Exactly.
One monster at a time. Thank you very much.
I would rather
I yield
assess
to you
my
and your
enemy.
judgment. I yield to your judgment.
I would rather assess my enemy and see them as two times bigger than what they are and prepare for that than to assume that they are smaller than they are and have to engage in a sustained battle which would cost me losses at the end of the day. You know, what
Mm-hmm.
I am trying
Yes.
to do is to get us to see the British power that Harry and Meghan are facing, the
Right,
reality of
right,
it,
right.
so that we can actually prepare. The next conversation we're going to be having on this is really, I think it should have been today, but I thought that this
Mm-hmm.
was more important to talk about than for us to go ahead and talk about Harry and Meghan. But it's in relation to the British reaction to
Mm-hmm.
the Dominic Reed stepping down as the CEO of the Invictus Games. So,
You
guys,
know what I'm
thank you.
hoping that will happen? Let me just say this one thing. What I'm hoping that will happen here, that we will follow. This is one time I want to follow y'all. I hope that we follow you and France's example of putting in more left wing people.
Yeah,
Over here they're called progressives. I hope
yeah,
we do that because the progressives are the one that stood by and fought his battles for him when the other ones chickened out and ran. It was the
mm,
progressives over here that fought AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, that stood in the gap for the president. So, okay, that's all I want to say.
yeah.
That's
I
it.
definitely agree with you because why can't people see that Trump means no good for anybody? Not even for
Mm-mm.
the people who are on his team. I mean, look at all the people who
Nope.
were with him the first time around, how they all ended up.
That aren't in jail. You mean the ones that aren't in jail?
Yeah. And
Because a
he
lot of his
seems to
people are in jail.
attract the worst of society to himself. Like,
Criminals. The word is criminals. He attracts
yeah,
criminals because he's a criminal. Yeah, criminals. Yep, a government full of criminals. That's what we would have if he wins.
Kathy Gabby says the British monarchy has very long arms globally in spite of their declining economic status after Brexit. This is what I've been trying to tell people. Um,
Hmm.
but pushback is mainly like, oh no, Harry and Meghan are in America and they will be fine. We want them to
We
be
just want
fine
to be
forever.
optimistic because we can't deal with the fact that they'll be stuck with those people forever. It's just too much for us to take here. We usually fight and get
No,
it over with and move on. So it's hard for us to deal with. That's why you get resistance.
yeah, I get that. But this is why I'm calling for the UN petition. you know.
Right,
This
right.
I because I have, like I said, I've had a meeting with a PR consultant. We did the smear. I talked to him about the smear campaign, and I did say to him, I'm like, okay, if you're the subject of a smear campaign, what would be the things you would do to fight back against the smear campaign? When he listed like 25 things, I saw that these are all the things that Harry and Meghan are involved in at the moment. Everything, Actual Foundation is all about fighting back against
Mhm.
campaign. So the next thing that, while I was going through each one, I then realized where they are. They don't need to talk to me. I already know where they are. I understand they have is that we could help them, but the problem is that they can't ask us to help them. See, because if they
Right.
did, then it would become a thing. Whereas
Mhm.
we kind of get distracted, and they were very effectively distracting us. They have effectively distracted us basically with Kate's cancer. And we're busy watching them to see what you're wearing, what's Camilla wearing. Who cares?
Yeah,
The royal
I'm not
family are
watching him.
great. The royal family are great at drama. They know how to keep the public talking. And so what they have been doing is to keep us distracted by them, what they're doing, and so on and so forth. Have you noticed that Harry and Meghan's strategy has changed a bit this year? They haven't been talking at all. They just do one thing and then they go back into hiding again. They come out to do one thing and they go back into hiding. I've looked at everything and I see that the I can see the reason for it. I can see where the gaps are. I can see where we can fill in, but it would take all of us coming together to actually make that change. And there's no room for the
Hmm.
coming together when I'm telling you what the enemy looks like. And you say, well,
Right.
he's not as tall as that. He's less one
Yeah,
tone. Yeah. What about the rest of
I
him?
well, we're just a little battle weary here in the States, but we'll snap out of it. Don't worry. We'll snap
you
out
know,
because we got a
you know,
battle coming up. We have to snap out.
yeah. Well, I completely got that. I got that, which is why I just said to myself, you know what, Louisa, you just have to keep on talking and talking and talking and talking and talking.
I've lost you here. I
I
can't hear you.
said,
Oh, there you
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. So I was just saying to myself that when I realized exactly what it is we were facing, I realized that we're all facing in the wrong direction because we come on here and we talk about the Sussex news, the updates. We get distracted with talking with all of them where we should be putting our energy in other places. And it's deliberate. It's deliberate. What they have done is to kind of almost neutralize the effect of the Sussex squad, actually, if I'm being honest. And I'll tell you how they did it in our next video. I had someone saying, well, the Sussex squad have been fighting. My love, I'm not saying that the Sussex squad have not been fighting. I'm saying that we need to recalibrate because they have found a way to nullify the effectiveness of the Sussex squad.
You're
So we
saying we have to reassess our tactics.
yes, absolutely.
I agree. If they're
Absolutely.
functional, we got to get another. We got to get another one.
They
I got that.
you remember after uh Harry and Meghan stepped back,
Hmm.
then they were doing all sorts of things. They were doing the charity, they were doing this, that or the other. They had done the documentary. They were making huge progress in against the smear campaign. Harry's book came
Mm-hmm.
out, everyone was talking. Obid's book came out, everyone was talking. Huge progress. With one singular thing, they were able to hit back against all of that. What was that thing? Cancer card.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer card. So now,
Well,
for all
but
those people who were given like balanced headlines before now, they now feel obligated to join the rest of the people to talk negatively about Harry and Meghan. And
mm,
also, they are, I don't know how to put this in a polite way, but obviously, they are threatening people, their
oh yeah, definitely.
livelihood, physically, everything. So if you're a business in the UK and your business is to report the news and you make the mistake of reporting positively about Harry and Meghan, you get a threat. You get letters threatening.
Or you get fired.
Oh,
You
you
get
get
blackballed.
fired.
Blackballed.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm blackballed. So if that is you, you have a business, you've got a family to feed. What are the chances that you would not join the bandwagon? Chances are the you would. Well, not you, but obviously if you are someone you feel like, well, this is the business I do, I don't have any I don't have a dog in this fight, so whatever pays my bills the best is what I'm going to do. And also under the conservatives, this kind of thinking, the environment created, promoted this kind of thinking. Now that the Labour
Mm.
government has come in, the Conservatives are having tantrums. They are freaking out because they're no longer in power in
And
Parliament.
power. That's right. And they're not.
And
They can't get the money no more. No more
they
bribes.
can't get the money. They don't have the power to do the things that they would want to do. The style of the style of conversation is changing from vendetta, from dignity stripping to more dignified speech. It's more calm, it's more mature in parliament at the moment. The conservatives are freaking the hell out. They can't
Of course
understand
they
what's
are.
happening. Remember, the conservatives have been in power for 14 years before they
Yes, a
lost the
long now.
election. That's a long time. Exactly.
And they've gotten very comfortable. And they
They got
started to
too
think that they weren't
comfortable.
going to be. They didn't think they could be moved. That's what happened. And when you kicked them out on their butt, that gave them a reality check because they were way past reality. They were
Yes.
in
No, no, no. You
delusional
don't even
trail.
know how bad it is. I'm coming back with my video on politics on Wednesday, and gradually we'll get to the point where, like, I'm reporting on the changes that this new prime minister is making. Do you realize that the government department that was in charge of preparing the UK for COVID, they prepared for a completely different thing from COVID.
Mm, mm,
So all that
mm.
money that was spent on PPE and all the vaccines that they bought initially, all that money was wasted. Couldn't be applied to the emergent situation which was taking place at the time. They
PPE
prepared
was
for
good though,
influenza. They didn't believe that anything like COVID existed. Can you believe
but the
it?
PPEs could still be used though. They could have used those, which would have
I
been just
heard
as
that the
effective.
fabric of the PPE that they got.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Jesus. And a regular flu wouldn't have been the right fabric. No. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I
Such
see what
a
you're saying
waste.
now.
Billions. Billions.
They bought all the wrong shit. That's what you're saying. Nothing could be salvaged. I see what you're saying. You're thinking
Nothing.
the PPEs, but when you're right about that, it wasn't the same type of PPEs for COVID. You had to have a special, uh, had to be specially constructed for that particular thing. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, my
Okay.
God. Mm-mm.
So I'm looking forward to discussing the um, Invictus one with Dominic Reed stepping down. But I thought it was important for, especially for my friends in America, to uh, express solidarity. Don't worry, guys. You
Yeah,
guys are going to get through it. If there's
yeah,
anything that the Sussex Squad can do online, let us know. Let's get together. Let's do it. We are powerful.
yeah.
We are strong. Let's not make
We
it
got to
just.
be warriors against the
We got to be warriors.
misinformation.
This is the age we're in, right? The kingdom of God
Mm.
suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. So it's not time to sit back and sit pretty. It's time to, flex the power that God gave us to do what we need to do to make sure that peace in the land remains calm. Oh my God, I wasn't even an American, but when Trump was in power, I used to have like panic attacks every time I heard Trump had done something. I was just like, oh my God, oh my
Girl,
God,
you had panic attack. Think about the
oh
people
my
in the United
God.
States who didn't vote for him. We were almost apoplectic for everything he did. We were like, poor little, what's his name? Stephen Colbert said he was just drunk all the way through the Trump years. He had a drink in his
That
hand
was
all
one
the
way
way
of
through the
getting
Trump
through it.
years. That,
Oh my
that was his
God.
way. That was his way.
Yes.
He said he had a drink in his hand all the way through the Trump years.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah,
Every
we were
single time he got up to do something, every time he got up to speak in public, I was just like, oh my God. So this time,
girl. That's why Joe Biden got 14 million votes. That's why he got 14 because everybody made the mistake of voting for Trump. They realized it. Everybody that didn't vote for Hillary because they couldn't stand Hillary. People that never voted before in their life. Do you hear me? Snoop Dogg never voted before. This man was out there at 7 o'clock in the land wherever he was. It was people, black community that never voted, didn't believe in government, that was in the line saying, we got to get this mofo out of here. That was the first time that they have ever voted was to vote him out. That's how bad he was. And that everybody came to a realization, oh God, we got to. So, yeah.
so now all the artists that stood up for Biden then they need to come out once again because really and truly they actually have the influence to get things done. Cardi needs to come out and speak again instead of fighting online about her husband's cheating. And
Yeah,
you know,
tell her,
you
Cardi,
know,
get a purpose.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's not going to do it there with that fighting over that Negro. But yeah, and Taylor Swift needs to up and speak up. You know, she may have been waiting to see what happened with Biden. Now she sees. Now she needs to speak up and get in
Mhm.
there because
So
she spoke
maybe
up.
just as much as we are, maybe just as much as we are also pushing the representatives, we also need to push the celebrities as
So,
well to come
yeah,
out
yep,
and stand up for Camilla.
yep. Use your platform. Use your platform
Use
for
your
good.
platform. Use your platform. But what can we do to push them to do it? Should we target one celebrity at a time to get this done? What do we need to do? You know what I mean? I think that's a
We
good
need to
point.
target George Clooney since he was the one that spearheaded. You got it. We're not gonna give them no more money as long as Biden is there. We can target him and say, okay, now he's not there. Get the money. Get organizers and making the money again, like he was before. You know, I think he was just mad because he didn't feel Biden was more accessible to him when he was trying to talk to him about his wife, Amal, because I think he was worried about Amal. She's a a human rights attorney, and she was down there arguing for the Palestinians in the World Court. He was trying to talk to Joe Biden since he was so pro-Israel and make sure his wife was okay. And I'm not sure if he took his call or not. Which is why I think he
See,
might have been pissed, not just in public about, oh well, I'm worried about. I think
I
that could have
see.
been why he was pissed too. So he
I
needs to
see.
get back on the donor train and get together for Kamala. So yeah, we need to
Okay.
light a fire under all of them.
All right. So then I think it would be a great idea for us to make a list of all the celebrities. I think on TikTok, do you remember that time a few weeks ago? There was a challenge on TikTok where they were unfollowing all the celebrities.
Right. Hmm.
They were unfollowing all the celebrities so that those celebrities who actually had talent and they were not regarded as industry plants would have more of a platform than those people who they considered to just be industry plants. So there was
Oh
actually a
yeah.
challenge on TikTok by people saying, go and unfollow. They had a list and they would do somebody every day and they would say, go and
Hmm.
unfollow such and such person because this person is not contributing towards the culture. They're not doing anything. They just
That's a
take
good
our money
idea.
for the pardon?
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. So we need to come up with something like that. We can do it. I think where you've got 1,000 people talking, something will happen.
Yeah, because you know what? That happens. That can be transferred because Kendrick's culture to wake up has awakened a lot of things. There are Sexy Red's cancer because nobody was buying her tickets.
Right, exactly. I saw that and I
There is a
laughed so hard.
college there are some HBUs or black females in the HBUs where she was scheduled to come and perform, canceled her and said, "No, you're not the right of black women. We're not going to indulge or encourage you. You can't come here." So a
Mhm,
lot of the black women on the campus had stood up and said, "No, she's not a good representation. She can't come here." So she
mhm.
lost a lot of college gigs, tours too, because
So
the
it
culture is
worked.
saying,
The
"No, we're
campaign
not."
against, yeah. So it worked, is what I'm trying to say. So
Right.
uh, we can make a list, guys, in the comment section. For those people who are listening, it's just 40 people on here at the moment. If you have not hit the subscribe button, go ahead to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment in the comment section. But leave a name in the chat of somebody who you think we can bombard and who you think is a Democrat and tell them to come out and endorse Kamala Harris. Once you give us a name for the next, how many days is it to the elections? We
Oh, I
would
forgot
choose
now.
somebody every day and go to their social media and just basically tell them what we want, right?
Yeah, because it's only 100 and something more days. Yeah.
uh, Lorna quickly said Obama, like with the quickness. I love it.
She said,
Oh,
"Who?"
Obama, he needs to come out and endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah, he does with his slow self. He needs to get himself in gear. And beyond, we need to do the beehive. We need to get the beehive generated to go for Kamala.
All right.
The
So
bee,
guys,
the beehive.
leave your
Yeah,
leave names in the comment section. We have about, when is the election?
November 4th,
November
I
4th.
believe.
So we've got
Either
about 4 months.
4th or 2nd.
We can do this. If we 1,000 people are love bombing one particular artist per day on all their social medias, getting them to speak out on behalf of Kamala Harris, that is going to make a lot of impact. That is one thing we can do, right? It
Yeah,
just takes one person every day. And even if we have to do it in rotation, but at least we are doing something. We're making noise
yeah,
under the comment
yes,
section.
yes. Yeah, let's get the beehive. If we get Beyonce's beehive going, that'll be a whole lot of people. And we get Taylor's. If we get the Swifties going, that's
Mm.
all. We get the beehive and the Swifties.
So Taylor Swift, as you were speaking, I am making a list already. So we've got Obama, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. Guys, leave more names in the chat, please, of people that
Lady
we
Gaga, Lady Gaga,
of
Lady
we of
Gaga.
people we can approach Lady Gaga, and then we will start this campaign. Let's get out of this thinking that we can't do anything to change anything. Lorna says again, Gavin Newsom. Yep,
I would love that. I can't remember if there's a set rule because of that you don't want to state, or if it's just because you cut down your electoral college
yeah,
capability. I don't know which it is because I would love to have Newsom too. I would love to have Harris Newsom. That would
on
be
the
the
ticket.
ticket that I
Yeah,
would go for. If I couldn't get that Harris Warren too, you know. But we probably end up with the one in South Carolina if she's smart. If she's trying to get that state into play, she would pick
right.
him.
Okay. So, guys, more names. More names. We have, I will do the calculation of how many days we have between now and November.
November
We
5th. I
can,
said 4th, but it's November 5th.
November the 5th. That is almost like at least 100 days, if not more,
Mm-hmm.
to
20
the
something
day.
like that.
So let's put down the names of celebrities who we can love bomb and to get them
Don't
to
forget George
endorse.
Clooney. Don't forget George Clooney.
Right. Uh, George Clooney.
Another thing I wanted to, I'm glad I almost forgot about Project 2025 about Trump being elected. There's already not just tech people. I don't want to just pick on them, but their ancestors can take are looking out for it still. But the tech people I'm going to pick on have already started commitment to diversity. They're already drawing back on their commitments and the things that they were going to put into place after the Georgia movement. Now they're and after the Supreme Court took away the laws on our that we had in place for affirmative action and some of the diversity things
Yeah.
that they had in the universities. So now, because some of the companies are, and Microsoft is one of the major companies that pull back on that. That's back in Trump now, and that outage that had all over the world for the computers and people flying. They also had a big outage
Yep.
at Microsoft. It was all Microsoft equipment. That was the end. Yep, you're on the wrong path. But what you're trying to do is backtrack without diversity, stuff.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Yeah.
backtrack on it now.
I've seen a couple of videos on TikTok with people dancing and saying the day after they fired the DEI department at Microsoft, that's when that thing happened. The
Mm-hmm.
outage happened. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, the intent is not to keep you on here for too long today. Just wanted to commiserate with you guys for Biden withdrawing from the race. Leave me your names of celebrities who you want us to get in touch with. And if we put our hands together, then we can make something happen. Let's not forget that we are more powerful than we think. And with that, I will be closing today's live stream. Uh, we can make a difference if we join together. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and let's take this journey together. Sussex Love, do you have anything you want to add
So
as we
remember
sign out?
Sussex. Remember Sussex family. Watch, pray, then go. Take
Okay.
care. See you streets.
All right, my loves. All right. Have a good night and speak to you tomorrow. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.